Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Expats in Azores. I'm here with Michael, Heidi, and Scott. I want to introduce you to them, to this fine family. I know they're not all here right now, but we'll hear more about them. And that way you can hear about their story and how they got started and came to the island. So let's start there. How did you guys find out about the Azores?
Well, actually, my family is originally from Fail and Pico.
Okay.
So that's about 4 generations ago.
Wow.
And we had an opportunity to take a vacation in 2019, and he wanted to go to Europe. And I said, well, if we're going to go to Europe, because work was slow enough for me to actually take a break during the summer that year, I said, why don't we visit the Azores? Nobody in my family's gone back since the immigration.
Oh, wow.
And it would just be nice to check it out and maybe have some bragging rights with my family because they're very proud Portuguese.
Really?
Yeah, that's, all they talk about.
Oh, wow.
The Portuguese dairy people.
Yeah.
So we did, and we were here for 1 week in the mainland and then 1 week here to rest in July. And that 1 week was a game changer. And 2 days before we actually were scheduled to fly back to the States, we looked at 3 houses, this being the third one, and made a decision by the next day that we were going to make an offer and close up shop in California and just move here.
Oh, wow. Okay, so you were living in California.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In Riverside County, which is just south of Los Angeles.
Okay.
So we, it was just a radical decision.
Yeah.
And
how did that happen? Like, what was that like when you were thinking about like packing up shop and thinking of coming over? You hadn't been here before, right? You just wanted to come to Europe.
Yeah, not at all. It was a big deal. It was a big decision, and we definitely had a lot to consider. Our kids, particularly Heidi. She was just starting high school.
Oh yeah.
Beginning her freshman year, and very much loving her new school. Very attached to friends.
Her friends she grew up with, basically.
Yeah, right.
Since grade school.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And also our family. Scott has a grandmother that's 90, and we're very close to her. So leaving her behind was not easy.
Right.
My sister and I are very close, and we have our circle of friends, and so leaving all of them behind was a very big deal to come to grips with, and he had a successful business, real estate brokerage, and closing that up was a big deal because
it wasn't easy.
He wasn't necessarily finished with his career, but we approached Heidi, and Heidi was very sad. She cried for a minute. But
like one minute.
Was it 1 minute or was it like 1 hour?
No, 1 minute.
Okay.
And 55 seconds.
Yes.
Okay.
And we watched her, and she pulled herself together after a minute, and she told us that she trusts us, she trusts our intentions and our judgment, and she believes it will be good for her if that's what we believe. And she also said that if it's good for us, then she wants to support us.
Wow.
And keep in mind too, she was a soccer star where we lived, and also her goal was to become a heart surgeon. So we thought, from the perspective of her, this was a win-win because in Europe, in Portugal, the football, the best
like
medical is in Portugal of all of Europe.
Really?
In the mainland, yeah.
Oh, wow.
There's some good schools here.
Really?
And so it just seemed like it would be a win-win for her.
Yeah. Wow.
It wasn't easy, though. We did get pushback from family,
Yeah,
a lot of pushback from friends, more than we expected. And the house that we were in, that was supposed to be our forever home. And we had done a complete gut remodel to make it everything that we wanted for our retirement.
Right.
We had 2 horses.
Oh, wow.
We had a mini ranch.
Yeah.
Chickens, dogs, and we were very well rooted in our community.
Right. And your 2 sons?
Yes.
Their names?
Dylan is 27.
Dylan's 27.
And he did not come with us because he's already in a career job in Southern California in Orange County. And Andrew came for a year.
Okay.
and helped us get started and settled here. And after a year, he wanted to go back. He wants to go to college back in California.
All right.
Yeah. So that was also hard to, at least leaving one behind. He was very troubled with this. He was supportive, but he was troubled at the same time. He came to us and said, you're going to leave me all alone. Who am I going to have? And so we had to have a talk about, we're one flight away. We're, a day away from if you need us, if there's an urgent matter. And that set him at ease. And plus he has aunts and uncles that are locals.
Right. So how's it been? Well, actually, let's talk about when you first came here and you got the house and then settling in. I know you mentioned there was a few bit of hurdles of getting the property, which many people have that issue sometimes when they're coming to a new place like this. Or, how was that experience?
The shipping aspect of shipping our personal belongings here, which we use 2 40-foot containers, was beyond a challenge. It was a total nightmare. And it was more so the shipping company in the U.S. and U.S. Customs versus Portugal Customs and the shipping company here that received ours. Over here, it was smooth. But on the U.S. side, the left hand did not know what the right hand was doing. Communication was awful. So that was a nightmare. Then getting here and actually doing the process of buying the house, the brokerage that represented the seller and us, they were aware that I was a broker and I owned my own real estate company. And I definitely pressed the issue that as say colleagues, if you will, I expect a certain level of representation, if not even more, because I know what's going on. And so
with your real estate experience, coming from that side in the U.S. to here,
real estate's real estate, even if the paperwork gets changed just a little bit. But the overall general concept of buying a piece of real estate and representation doesn't change, regardless of where you're at in the world.
So true.
Just like a lawyer, representation is representation.
Right.
We didn't get what we were expecting or what we're accustomed to, so there was challenges there. I kind of took over the process while in California and concluded it, and the broker or the agent was present just for the closing at least.
Okay.
So they can get their commission.
Yeah. I'm sure they just waited for it.
The sellers were wonderful.
Yeah.
We love our sellers. We're still friends with them. We dine with them on occasion.
Oh, that's great.
They were great people. And unfortunately, as many North American buyers have learned, when you come here, the process of buying is very different because everything's very geared towards the seller and protecting the seller in a sense. You're not going to get disclosures or any information on the property. The buyer has to do all their own due diligence on everything. That's a little bit more than what we're accustomed to. So trying to get things where you're in another country.
So you started the process while you were there. Oh yeah.
We made the offer when we were getting on the plane.
Oh my goodness.
And it got accepted.
Wow.
And so
the flight.
Yes. And then
oh my goodness.
of course it was advised that we'd be better off if we were present because there was hurdles and challenges along the way of negotiating and so forth. But it wasn't possible because, again, since we made this decision, not only did I had a business to try to close down, we had all kinds of other, I had to sell the house and all the other things that we had that were involved.
How many days from the time you left and made the offer got accepted till when you came back?
It was about 6 months. We visited in July, mid-July or early July, and we moved here in mid-December.
Yeah. That's when we met.
2019.
Yeah,
yes.
2019.
And then we had the keys to the house May 5th.
Yeah, I remember.
Or no, March 5th.
I remember Michael said, we were in the parking lot at the school, and he's like, do I hear English? And that's actually how I greet people now when I hear English. I do it this way when Michael does. He's like, do I hear English? And that's like the way I greet people now because I never forgot it.
Puts a smile on their face.
It does. It really does. It's a great way to connect with people. So I learned that from Michael. It was so great. So ever since, now, you said you had issues with the storage containers. You're now moved and settled in. What's been, I would assume now you've got to explore the island more deeply.
More than when we were here.
More than when you first got here. Yeah.
We really didn't get a chance to even explore that first week.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fortunately, because there's immigrant expat groups
Yeah.
here on social media.
Yeah.
We're able to see what opportunities are out there. There's several opportunities. There's a lot of expats, immigrants that are very ecological minded, and they have organizations to do things for the ecology here, as well as walking groups, hiking groups
Yeah.
on the island, which was something that I participated in. And some of that slowed down during COVID, of course,
Yeah.
but we do it as much as we can, and that group's had a potluck and at the park, and our daughter Heidi has joined in.
Nice.
Scott's done some of the hikes, and so that is a wonderful opportunity to get into the interior of the island and really see
So
the
true.
beauty
So true.
that is far beyond driving through the highways.
So true. So true.
Yeah.
What's been your favorite part, Michael? We'll start with you then, Heidi. Like maybe for certain section, certain location. Do you have a favorite?
That's really difficult to say. I'm a beach person, so I do love going to the beach on both sides, the north side and the south side. But the hiking trails, I can't say I have a favorite.
Okay.
Every one of them's awesome.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's great. Heidi, how about you?
I'd probably say the beaches also, and the trails are really beautiful.
Yeah.
There's a lot of waterfalls, just like the nature here. Just even the grass, it looks beautiful every day. You see rainbows,
Yeah, a lot,
and
right?
they're everywhere.
Everywhere, yeah.
And that's it's just being here is a different experience.
Yeah, that's so true.
I'll
Scott?
give you your $20 later. I'm just kidding. I have three that come to mind as my top. The first one was when we visited Furnish
No.
and went to the gardens.
Oh yeah.
It's breathtaking. It was
Yeah.
gorgeous. It's tropical paradise, and you could just be there all day long, every day, and whether it's rain or sunshine, and just be in a trance of the beauty and the nature and all the beautiful plants and flowers.
Yeah.
My second is I love beaches too. I love the south side beaches the most here, and I can't say one particular beach is better than the other.
Okay.
They're just all wonderful.
Yeah.
But my third experience that I really cherish, and it's more generic in a sense, but I have a convertible sports car,
Yeah.
and the opportunity to just put the top down and drive and feel the breeze, experience the nature,
Yeah.
and see the water off from the distance.
Yeah.
It almost feels like you're in a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
From
Georgia's.
that helicopter shot,
Yeah,
and you're
yeah.
just like, So
Do you have that
with
drone
the music?
shot yet? Do you have a drone shot yet, have you, Scott? That would be a good one.
Not yet. I was actually going to have one done by my photographer before I left.
know. That sounds like a great idea.
With the right music and everything,
Yeah.
it's just you get to
Like a music video.
you get to go into a
Yeah.
different fantasy world.
That's so true. What do you think about the food?
Oh my god, so good.
Heidi's on it. What's been your favorite dish?
I don't know about like the names of the dish necessarily,
Okay.
but there's a lot of really interesting food. They don't really eat meat here, which is interesting. In the U.S., like meat is a very big thing.
It's a staple food.
Yeah.
Beef.
Yeah.
But here it's more seafood or like chicken, pork. They have so many different things, and they use olive oil a lot, which is much healthier. Some of the like trail mix, I guess, seems to be a big thing here. I don't know, but
Okay.
just everything so good.
So good, yeah. Like,
I love the food here, and my tastes have changed actually because living in the U.S., I was quite a red meat eater,
Yeah.
and I've always liked fish and seafood. But living here, I really have grown to love fish and want to have fish far more frequently.
Yeah.
And the way it's so fresh here, whether you're
tastes
buying
better.
it at
So true.
knowing the best store to buy the seafood at, that's where it's the freshest, or which restaurant to go to.
Barcaluda is the best.
Bacalhau?
Yeah.
Nice.
And so I usually order the fish of the day when we go to a restaurant, and I just really enjoy the seafood.
That's awesome. Scott?
Yeah, I've I'm a red, bloody beef
Yeah,
eater.
yeah.
I mean, hands down.
Yeah.
Meat and potatoes, but
Yeah.
I've acquired an appreciation for fish. I'm loving tuna steaks.
Okay.
Definitely much more.
The
Those are
tuna,
good.
amazing.
But
that's so
my
true.
favorite of all is the wine and cheese. But
Oh,
the
yeah.
wine
What
is
about the
the top
bowls?
because
Yeah.
I just can't get enough wine.
Also, you like the octopus.
Oh
do you
yeah,
like the
I love the
octopus?
octopus.
Like,
That's really
It's
delicious.
his
It's my
favorite.
favorite.
He orders that almost every time we go to
If it's
Really?
available.
Yeah.
And he never ate that in
Yeah,
California.
Oh yeah. See, I grew up with that. We would have it every week. Like
Really?
it was like my
Wow.
grandmother would make it every week, but I wouldn't eat it. It was just like, ooh.
Really?
Yeah, it wasn't like squid and all those things. It was like snails. And
Snails.
I just stay away from that stuff. But my family still eats it. They love it.
They too,
But
both
you've-
of
you've
them.
liked it.
Yeah,
love
it's
Yeah,
great.
no, it's delicious.
Yes.
At least the way the restaurants prepare it here. So
Right.
no complaints there.
Wow, that's great. Favorite restaurant? You said Bacolota.
Yeah.
Do you guys have a favorite restaurant?
I love Barkalua as well.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's a hard
Really,
one to
it's like
compete
it's
with.
like the one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Wow.
think so.
Definitely probably the best.
Our friends who were the sellers,
Yeah.
Paulo and Carla, they are the ones that introduced us to that restaurant by treating us,
Oh, nice.
from thanking us for buying the house.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. That's a very unique situation.
Yeah.
Thank you. Here's dinner.
Thank you. Finally, we couldn't get away from here fast enough.
I want to talk a little bit about work. I know you were telling me a little bit earlier, you retired. Some people come here for retirement, and some people are coming here with starting a new life and a new business, which is I find really difficult to do here. Let's share about that. So, Michael, you came from, your background is in education.
Yes, I've done all kinds of work at the secondary level. I taught high school for many years. I was a high school principal for a charter school, for a couple comprehensive high schools, a middle school over the years. And I was also a teacher union president, which I loved doing. That was my last job before I retired. Yeah. And so coming here was just extending retirement from 2 years of retirement in California and coming here to Paradise for the rest of my years.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. Great place to retire.
Yes.
It truly is.
That was definitely a carrot that he dangled in front of me during the vacation. Besides asking the question, I wonder how much houses sell for here. And then after I did some research and then we looked at the 3 houses and we were considering we were just looking for fun actually. It wasn't really just to like, let's go look at a house to buy.
Yeah.
It was just out of curiosity.
Right.
Then that evening at the hotel, he was like, if we came here based on what we're seeing so far, you can actually go ahead and retire now. And I was like, now I've been working for the last 20 years, 7 days a week, 12-hour days. My family thinks I was married to my job and not to them, and I would get a lot of grief and pushback, especially when it came to family vacations and whatnot, because I would be working during the vacations.
All the time.
You know, when your clients are available in real estate, you have to be on. And when they're available is when everybody's taking their summer or Christmas breaks or whatever.
Right.
All right, so he dangles that carrot. I'm like, okay, I think about it. I'm tired, so all right, fine, let's do it. And then we go through all the drama that you heard about selling, and I really had a little bit of depression in that in-between phase too, of shutting things down and selling things off.
Right.
Then we're here, and COVID hits the following week after we got our
the
keys.
house being fixed up, right? That took
It was a
time,
fixer.
too. Yeah.
We weren't expecting that we were buying a fixer because we actually saw the house that 1.5 hours, and that was the last time we ever got to see it.
Right.
Even when we arrived, we weren't allowed to come view the house till we got the keys. So we weren't fully aware of what we were getting. So it was a fixer, and there was a lot of work, so that kept me busy. But once things kind of got caught up, and it's like, okay, we're kind of there now with the house condition and whatnot. I think he just got tired of me being around. It's like, oh, he's not busy anymore. He's like near me, and he's watching what I'm doing. He's counting the minutes I'm on Facebook, and so as you can imagine, he's like, I know he had a strategy. He's like, I gotta find
something with real estate.
I gotta find a way to
occupy
him.
Right.
So he started throwing the idea out to his friends in the groups, like, Scott did real estate, and
Yeah.
did this and that, and next thing I know, I'm being pressured. And I was like, no, I'm not going to do real estate. I've been there, done that. That was not the purpose of coming here, to jump back into that
Right. Yeah.
headache.
Sure.
And then people were like, well, inspections. And it just kind of evolved that, well, we couldn't get an inspection. That was one of my big clashes with the broker and the agent, because I wanted inspections. And they're like, that doesn't exist here. You can't have that.
Yeah.
So it's an untapped market.
Yeah. True.
I know, I'm smart enough to know that to function and do that type of a thing, you definitely have to be bilingual, because the sellers are going to be only Portuguese speaking, possibly, as well as the agents.
Right.
A lot of your buyers coming from North America or other countries likely going to speak English, and they do have this expectation of getting a home inspection. That's just
true.
what they're accustomed to.
Yeah.
So how do I find the happy medium? Because I tried to do Portuguese class, and they basically kicked me out. I flunked that class like you wouldn't believe. I was like, we'll retry in a couple of years.
Sure.
So one of the guys who you're familiar with, Edmundo, we met him and through the language class.
Okay.
And was aware of all the different irons he has in the fire with regards to helping expats relocating to the Azores.
So true.
Anything you pretty much need, he has a connection.
Yeah.
So, except for home inspections. So I had a meeting with him. We discussed the concept and that it was a market that was untapped, and what could we do with this. Now, he's bilingual. He speaks fluent English, speaks fluent Portuguese.
Yeah.
He's got a mechanical engineering degree. He would be a good fit. Plus, he already has knowledge of the island. He has all these other links to people moving here.
Right.
It seemed like a great fit.
Yeah.
So after the meeting, or during the meeting, we realized that we would be a good fit. We began pro home inspections, and it's been a great venture so far. We've only been doing it for a few months, and we've had several home inspections. We've met with different brokers, presented the concept. Though foreign to them, some of them were like, we're aware of that. Our foreign buyers want this.
Right.
Some of the offices said that 30% of their clientele are from North America. So they actually were more open to it than what we were expecting.
Well, that's
we
good.
were expecting more pushback.
Yeah.
We definitely made them aware that we're not here to undermine their sale.
Right.
We're not going to
Help
discredit this
support.
house just for the opportunity to say, oh, this house is junk, it has all these problems wrong. We're looking for defects, hazardous issues, things like that. But it's more of identifying the state of health of the house for the buyer so he can make an educated decision as to, does he want to negotiate price a little bit more, or at least be aware of what he needs to do once he has the keys and make a priority list.
And I believe all of the clients that they've had in their business, they've all gone through with the purchase of the home.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, that's fantastic.
We've not lost.
They're
no
just
realtors
Wow,
have lost any sale
I think
after our
I
inspection.
think it brings an assurance to the process, as it does in the U.S. But here, it's like, wow, this is even.
In fact, we probably helped close a couple of deals where the
fantastic.
buyer was actually on the fence, not sure whether they wanted to buy or not.
Really?
After they got the report, they called Mundo or I.
Yeah.
Had a lot of questions, and we basically gave them the reassurance that this is okay. You just have to do X, Y, Z, and from everything we're seeing, go through with it.
That's
This is a good opportunity. Go ahead and buy it.
That's fantastic. Any sights of opening your own brokerage here, Scott? Or
No,
okay.
no.
I was just
Scott's even gone to other islands. In fact, the furthest island from
We went to
here,
Flores
Flores.
Flores, yeah.
just a few weeks ago for a home inspection. So we will travel to other
I made it a
islands.
mini vacation.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's great.
But
That's fantastic.
The person bought the house sight unseen. It was actually the same age as this house, so it was 15 years old. Beautiful house, and they were willing to go ahead and pay for my flight and accommodations
Right.
in order to get that full inspection. The inspections are very reasonably priced. We have a price list on the website.
Okay.
And it's basically in 3 stages, so they can quickly understand what they're going to be paying for and what they get with the report. And this person was very thrilled afterwards. They were pleased with
That's
it,
fantastic.
and we've had a lot of good referral, not
Yeah.
referral, but what do you call it? Postings.
Like postings, yeah, like reviews.
Reviews,
Yeah,
thank you.
Yeah, definitely.
Senior moment.
Well, I will post that link in the description so you can check out the services that they provide, which I think is fantastic. It's such a need here. You know, a little bit about when I first came here, I was like, yeah, I could change this, I could change that. I got the same feeling when I went to Uganda. I could do something, I can make some impact and do some changes in the community.
Mm-hmm.
But I found here was very, very difficult. So what you've done, and I feel like the walls that you've taken down and the movement you've made into the community is very positive. That's
Thank you.
huge.
The biggest thing, and I think this is with any individual, I don't care where you're located at in the globe, is that we don't like surprises.
Yeah.
In the
Right.
bigger picture, we don't like bad surprises.
Right,
So
yeah.
had I had an inspection on this house and learned all the stuff within the Pandora's box that I was getting myself into, I still would have bought it. But I would have been happier had I known in advance, okay, I'm going to have to be dealing with this stuff. This is the budget I need to set for myself.
Right.
I came here with an expectation that what reserves I had was going to be spent on other things. And it got completely redirected, and I wasn't happy about that. So
okay.
surprises are not fun.
Yeah.
And if
That's
a
true.
buyer's reassured
That's
that
true.
We know what we're getting, they'll be good and
That's
they'll be
right.
happy, and the realtors and everybody else will get repeat business.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, what a great solution. That's
Thank
awesome.
you.
That's good stuff. What would you say to someone who is thinking about moving here and relocating? We'll start with you, Michael. What would you say to someone who's like maybe watching this and saying, hey, I'm thinking about going to a new place in Europe, or like yourself, you're like, I want to go to Europe. Why would they choose the Azores?
Well, the Azores are very unique in that you have a very relaxed pace of life here. It's very tranquil, very calm, very beautiful. The natural landscape is gorgeous, and the people are wonderful here. It's a beautiful culture, and advice, I would say, go for it, do it. Don't be afraid. You only go through this life once.
That's so true.
So
That's good stuff. Heidi? What would you say to someone who's a teenager with a family? Maybe they're watching this and what would you say to them?
I'd say that don't knock it before you try it.
Yeah.
Give everything a chance. If you're a teenager moving here with your family, don't immediately, oh, I hate this. This is so horrible.
Yeah.
You might find that you have a lot of life experiences that you would never have had if you would never have even traveled here. So I think it's a good idea to at least try.
Yeah, that's so true. Good advice. Scott?
Drink a few bottles of wine first before you make your decision. Just kidding. Preferably the Portuguese wine.
Yeah. It's got to be Porto wine.
Yes. What's the question again?
So the question is, what would you tell someone who's thinking about either moving to Europe or moving out of the U.S.? They're, thinking about relocating somewhere. Why would you tell them to move to Azores?
Okay. If somebody was asking me if they wanted to relocate, why would they come here? It's a beautiful island. It is a slow pace. It's a nice pace. Depending on where you come from, you may be in a very rural country area, and this is about equal to that. If you're from the big city, this is a very different concept. When we went to Flora, when we arrived, I was like, oh my gosh, this is one sleepy island.
Yeah, right.
I probably couldn't live there, but
Yeah.
for other people that really want something remote and quiet, and
Yeah. It's really
there's
remote.
other islands
off the grid.
Yeah,
off the grid.
Yeah.
There's the other islands provide that type of experience and lifestyle,
true.
and San Miguel, it's the opportunity to have city life
Yeah.
without feeling like you're in Los Angeles or New York. But
Cramped, not cramped.
yeah, and rush hours when the cows are being moved down the highway.
Yeah. What is all this traffic? Oh, it's cows.
Yes. But I do recommend, if at all possible, in hindsight, and I didn't follow my own advice I used to give my own clients, but I would rent first. Don't
Yeah.
race to go buy a house because it's just what you've always done in the past. You need to rent first. It's like test driving a car before you buy it. Or trying on a pair of shoes and walking around in them before you buy them. Make sure it's going to fit well. And there's different areas of the island that are very different, such as the north side and the south side. Temperature, microclimates, things that we didn't know about that we've learned since.
Yeah.
So had we had it to do over again, we probably would have come here and rented, identified
the best area
that would appeal to all three of us.
Okay.
And then bought. Give it 6 months. Each part of the island is very different. There's that camera system called Spot Azores.
Yeah.
So you can see Ponta delgada and all the beaches. Well, you can have 3 beaches that are overcast, cloudy, even rainy, and others that are sunny and everybody's on the beach sunbathing.
Yeah.
So that's just an example of how within a 20-minute drive it can be extremely different weather conditions.
Yeah, that's so true.
Had we rented for 6 months to a year and then picked our perfect forever house, I believe it's very possible it may have been the very house we are in now.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Scott's like that.
This is a great location that we have.
Yeah.
The difference between him and I is that I don't like wind, and we have a lot of wind where we're at here.
Okay.
Especially during the winter time.
Okay.
And I don't do cold, so
Okay.
that's my complaint.
Yeah,
You can't drive around in a convertible when it's super windy and cold.
Yeah.
But on the south side, it's, what can I say?
So we'll be seeing you on the south side.
As much as possible.
We'll break out the drug. Good stuff. All right, everyone. This has been another episode of the Expats in Azores. If you like the interview you've heard, give this video a like and check out the other episodes in the description below. We'll see you next time.